The crown jewels of England and Scotland, passed down over 800 years of monarchy, they continually represented the power and stability of the English crown. Kept securely in the Tower of London, many say they are famous, that a monetary value cannot be put on them. They are truly invaluable. The ultimate heist material. And in May of 1671, Thomas Blood would attempt just this in one of the most infamous heist attempts in history. Blood's cunning long con would end in one explosive day. In our inaugural episode of Laughs from the Past heist season, we'll tell the story of an attempt to steal perhaps the most invaluable set of objects in the Western world. I'm Jake Sturrill, and this is the tale of Thomas Blood and the theft of the English crown jewels.
What's going on? Welcome back to Laughs from the Past. Proud to announce that it is season 9. Heists. Fantastic introduction by my good friend Jake Sturrill.
I'll tell you what, man. The bookends were incredible. Like actual casting quality. And then I got Russian in the middle a little bit.
Did you?
I'm not sure what that was.
I think
very odd.
So, I think you do Scottish good, but what I don't mean to say is that you do a good Scottish accent.
Yes, that's fair.
But it's an entertaining thing that you do.
An entertaining
like
Scottish
German,
accent.
we know you can't even do it.
Right.
Yeah, but that was pretty fun. There was a word in there that I thought you nailed. London. Just went.
Dude, I rolled one word towards the end.
London. I don't know.
When you said laughs from the past, that was really
From the
good.
past. Good.
We're all happy. We're doing heists. They make for good movies. They'll probably make for good podcasts.
Yeah.
Heist movie. Favorite top 10 heist movie starting with number 10. Go.
Top 10 heist movies starting with number 10. Okay. National Treasure. Does that count as like a heist?
Yeah.
Not really. It's like a weird. It's in a way. It's a heist.
He heists the Declaration of Independence.
Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Italian Job's good. We love Ocean's 11. It's probably top 1 for us.
The Sandlot.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You could spin a lot of heist movies.
So did something
Anytime someone takes
something else, yeah, that's good.
Okay.
All right,
Cool.
I don't know this story. Noah Prince wrote it for us. Thank you very much, Noah. Producer Luke's here.
Prince.
So we're going to Scotland. Hey, crown jewels. Does that originate from they were the jewels that would put on the crown, or is the crown just a word to describe something that is the best?
I have no idea.
That's what I was thinking about while you were reading it.
No idea.
I'm pretty sure the crown is one of the jewels, and there's a few jewels that are being
That doesn't
stolen.
make sense.
There's a few crowns.
The crown jewels.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 jewels that are held, and the crown is one of them.
The crown counts as a jewel.
Okay. Interesting.
We'll see.
Yeah,
Let's see what we
I think
get.
the word jewel doesn't mean like gem. It means,
That smells fishy to me.
Go listen to her music, Luke. You'd like Jewel.
I read this.
I listened to Jewel recently.
Yeah.
Do you ever seen Jewel at Woodstock, 1999?
Rips. I think so.
It's like 10 minutes long, and she's not even really singing. She's just making noises. Like getting after it, though.
Yeah.
Like you see someone in their element, and you're like, I don't know if I like this music, but I love how much she is in her element.
It's powerful stuff.
So go
man.
watch Jewel's performance from the 1999 Woodstock concert.
You are welcome.
Soul. All right, here we go. From the outset of his life, Thomas Blood, great name, was a thorn in the side of the English crown and its fellow royalists. Born in 1618 in the Kingdom of Ireland, once he came of age, he immediately evoked himself in the First English Civil War, fighting with Oliver Cromwell's Roundheads against the Crown's Royal Triangle Heads. He was awarded land and prestige following the end of the war. Thomas Blood. You like him?
The round heads versus the triangle heads.
I made up the triangle.
There's a little
heads.
bit of an ad-lib. I just wanted the purists of this story to know that wasn't a real thing, but would have been cool. I get it.
Would have been cool.
I get it.
Just picture a bunch of cheese heads.
Kinda.
Yeah.
I was vertical, not horizontal.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think if we Google like people with triangle-shaped heads, like it tapers up? Got to be some that exist. However, following the rise of King Charles III and the restoration of power to the crown, Blood was forced to flee to Ireland, leaving all of his property and wealth in England to be taken over by the crown.
Bum, bum, bum.
In financial ruin, he sought to unite his fellow Cromwellians in Ireland to cause insurrection and revive the fight against the England crown. That seems desperate.
A little bit. Early take. I'm wondering if, you know how tales get told over time. I could see Thomas Blood's name getting renamed over time. Like he was Thomas Harris, but they were like, hey,
It's a better name.
if we're going to tell this story, let's call him Thomas Blood.
He's like trying to get in wars and stuff.
Yeah.
Like he's out for blood. It sounds like a nickname more
T
than
Blood.
name. Do we have like a drawing of Thomas Blood? Is that what's coming up next?
Coming up. We think. It's a drawing of someone.
That guy sucks.
Ooh.
That guy looks like the dad of the guitarist for Queen.
Okay.
Brian May. Is that his name?
Kind of got my hair going on.
Nope.
If you stopped it by the years.
No. Still no.
Yeah.
Okay.
See it.
One of the most notorious aspects of his life was his lifelong battle with James Butler, first Duke of Ormond, a Charles III loyalist, had failed Blood's plot to take over Dublin Castle and install Irish revolutionaries in charge. From that day on, Blood swore revenge on Butler. This Blood dude sounds like Peckerhead.
A little bit. I was going to say, do you think having an actual lifelong rival was more of a thing because times were just so boring?
I don't
Like
think
part of-
James Butler considered him a rival at all. Like, you tried to take over my castle. I stopped you. I don't care about you.
No, not yet.
It's the same way that Jimmy considers that tightroper his arch nemesis, but the tightroper doesn't know anything about Jimmy.
Ooh. Deep. Didn't think he had to bring up the tightrope artist.
That's
there.
rude.
Nicholas
I don't think he's
Wallenda.
my arch nemesis. I just
his
don't
name
like
is
him.
Nicholas Wallenda.
He's one of your enemies for sure.
Enemy is a weird word. I just don't like him. He's never done anything wrong to me. Just don't like him.
That's what I guess. That's kind of what I mean. I think times were so boring back in the day that
You needed one.
You wanted a lifelong enemy.
Okay. Especially if you're... this dude...
You needed that old
This
man.
dude made
like, chip
everyone
on
an
your
enemy.
shoulder.
This dude is trying to start a war. He loses, gets sent to Ireland. He's like, let's start that same war again.
Run it back.
Tries to take over a castle, loses again. Now he's like, you're my enemy for life. Like, dude, you're not really scary.
swore revenge.
Yeah.
Just wait.
While secretly living in England under a false name, Blood saw his chance. On the night of December the 6th, 1670, Blood and his accomplices attacked Ormond. Is it Ormond, do you think?
Yeah, I
Ormond?
like that.
While the latter traveled along St. James Street, Ormond was dragged from his coach, bound to one of Blood's henchmen, and taken on horseback along Piccadilly with the intention of hanging him at Tyburn.
Sheesh.
Okay.
It's a serious rivalry.
Yeah, I guess so. Blood stepped up his game.
And
a little
Blood's
bit.
got henchmen, so he's
You know what
doing
it was?
something
You know
right.
what it was? Blood went like this. I want to take over England. Failed. Okay, think smaller. I want to take over Dublin Castle. Failed. Okay, think smaller. I want to get this one guy.
Yeah, one step
Okay,
at a time.
Got him.
Get the guy, get the castle, get two castles, get England.
Yeah. The gang pinned a paper to Ormond's chest, spelling out the reasons for his capture and murder, threatening the crown that they would one day come after them. But with one of his servants who had given chase on horseback, Ormond succeeded in freeing himself
Jeez.
and escaped. So he can't even do the one guy. Next paragraph is going to be about Thomas Blood
dog.
capturing a pig. Yeah.
Dog, yeah.
The plot's secrecy meant that Blood was not suspected of the crime, despite a reward being offered for the capture of the attempted assassins.
So this does play into your thing here that Ormond doesn't even know that his rival Blood was the guy that tried to kill him.
Because he used a fake name. And they were like, who did it, Ormond? He's like, I don't know.
Or
some stranger just saw me on the street. And Thomas Blood's like, you're my arch nemesis, dude.
Plot twist, Ormond knows, but he knows that'll twist the knife even more.
Or he's saving him for himself.
I mean, I don't know who tried to do it.
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone, and Blood is just fucking brooding.
I like that. It's the old Rex Ryan quote.
Yeah.
I've walked over tougher guys.
On my
Get
way
into
to a
fights.
bar fight.
Yeah, something like that's a good line.
I love that line.
The plots, thus, with the identity still hidden, Blood immediately went into planning the most notorious action of his life, his attempt to steal crown jewels. So yes, he went from England, a castle, a person.
Jewels.
Rocks.
Nice rocks.
That's funny. Okay. They say it was a long con. That's the
con.
name of this section. The crown jewels were kept at the Tower of London in a basement. Not a Tower of London, but the basement.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, like a basement's a basement. I don't care what's above it.
Is the Tower of London famous? I'm looking it up.
Sounds like
looks
it
nice.
has to be famous.
Looks nice.
Called the Tower of London. It's not just going to be like a little piece
It
shooter.
looks like a castle.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the basement. You got it? Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, basement's still kind of odd.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, feels like it's not the tallest building, but you either pick a top corner or maybe like the middle vault.
basement's a basement. You don't have to. You can go under in the ground to get to it. Doesn't matter what's above it.
Yeah.
It could be like, the local 7-Eleven basement or castle basement. You're entering the same way. You're digging a tunnel.
Looks cool.
Yeah. The keeper of the jewels was a man named Talbot Edwards, who lived with his family on the floor of above the basement, the ground floor. We call it the ground floor. First floor. Okay. Anyone with wealth could visit and see the jewels as long as they paid a fee to the custodian. Makes sense.
Sure.
Price of admission.
Yeah.
So in April of 1671, Blood began his long con. He first disguised himself as a parson, a member of the clergy, and went to see the jewels alone. That's a priest is still a good disguise up until this day.
Yeah.
It's unsuspecting. That's how they got away with so much stuff.
2020.
Ba-dum-tsh. He chatted with Edwards, feigning interest in the history of the jewels, their importance to the crown and the country, and giving a grandiose speech on his highest Protestant nature. He worked to adopt an entire new persona, promising Edward he would be back with his wife soon.
Wow.
So he's just doing, method acting a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Throwing off the
Okay.
scent.
Jake's theory of being bored starts to play in here depending on how long this con goes. I read the next line, and I like part of it. But yeah, he's going for it.
A week later, Blood would follow through on his promise with his wife in tow. She has still never been identified. He showed up to the tower and received a personal tour of the jewels from Edward. Just as their tour was finishing up, Blood's wife feigned a violent stomach ache, begging Edward to help her out by fetching her some spirits. Given the proximity of the jewel keeper's domestic quarters to the site of the commotion, Edward's wife invited them upstairs to their apartment to recover, after which Blood and his wife thanked the Edwardses profusely and left, again promising they would come back to the property to thank them. So they cased the apartment.
Yeah, the scouting trip.
Yeah.
Scouting trip.
Yeah. So he cased the basement by himself. He brings the wife, and that's his in to the apartment above. Now he knows the layout of both.
Which I like. I mean, I thought he was just, I think, a simpler man as we're trying to earn some respect for Mr. Blood. I think this plan at this time period would have been a lot of people's full plans. Like, go check out the jewels, wife pretends to be sick, steal the jewels, like with the distraction.
Mm-hmm.
He's laid out more of a plan than that. So I give him 1 point.
Yep. And he did say, we're going to come back to properly thank you.
Yeah.
So he's also, he's getting the in with this guy Edwards. Over the following days, Blood returned to the tower to visit the Edwards's. Why are we saying this?
Edwards's.
Isn't that his first name?
No, the Edward. It's the family, so I think it's like the Edwards.
Okay.
So you can go
The
with that.
E's.
To visit the Edwards and presented Mrs. Edwards with 4 pairs of white gloves as a gesture of thanks, using the gift as an excuse to continue to come back and grow closer with the family. As Blood became ingratiate,
Hate when I feel that way.
wouldn't it be as Blood ingratiated with the family?
Ingratiate.
Became ingratiate?
I wouldn't.
Sorry, Noah. He began to talk of a fictitious wealthy nephew, expressing frustration as the man's inability to find a wife despite his immense wealth. I don't know why he can't marry. He's got all the money in the world.
All the money in the world.
With all that money, you think you'd be able to find a proper suitor? So that kind of stuff. He casually commented that the man's future wife would be eligible by virtue of the marriage to an income of several £100s. Of course, Blood was acutely aware of Edward's single daughter. And no sooner had he brought it up was Edwards talking of potentially setting up the 2 young lovers. This was the inn that Blood had been aiming for. This is awesome. I'm sorry that, all of the prelude to the con painted Blood as kind of a dummy. This is a cool plan. Did his homework.
But didn't... Okay, but Blood brought his wife the first time.
Yeah.
So he's going to kill her off?
What? Oh, you're very lost.
Yeah. Okay. He's trying to set up the guard with his daughter?
With his nephew that he made up out of thin air.
And not the guard.
Setting his nephew up with the girl.
He made up a fake, really rich nephew.
Got it now.
Okay.
The family upstairs who owns the jewels.
So
Has a daughter.
Right. But okay, so Blood's going to bring in like another main character, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's starting a sitcom.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
yeah, okay. So a date was set. On May 6, 1671, Blood would bring his nephew and 2 friends over to attend a dinner with the Edwards and their daughter. They would be alone with the jewels. This would be his chance.
Oh.
Okay. So there's a picture of the jewels, which has 2 crowns, 2 little like walking stick type things, and then 2 pope head things. So that's why producer Luke was confident in his description. He had
Stand
done
strong,
the
Luke.
research. That night, Blood made his way to the Tower of London with his 3 closest gang members, one pretending to be his nephew in search of marriage.
Man.
While waiting for the dinner to come out, Blood convinced Edward to bring him and his friends downstairs to view the jewels. Reportedly, Blood's crew all held canes that concealed rapier? Rapier?
Blades. Rapier blades.
Rapier
Just gotta say it
blades.
quick. Rapier blades.
Daggers and pocket pistols. We had guns at this time?
Pocket pistols, sure.
We had,
I was shocked by that. 1670, there's pistols?
I guess, pocket pistols? On entering the jewel house, they had to be terrible pocket pistols.
Terrible.
Like, awful.
Can you do a quick Google picture?
Okay. I am Googling 1600 pistol.
First gun was made. I got the year on it. Who wants to guess?
1582.
1625.
1364, babe.
No one
Is that a
believes
gun? Is it a gun or like...
First recorded use of a firearm.
Look at this pocket pistol from 1573 to 1651.
Yeah, I mean, that's nice shit, man. They made nice stuff.
I just wouldn't have guessed it. I mean, they made that castle and the jewels and stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. So they're armed up. I mean, now let's Google the rape blade. See what that's all about. Rapier blade images, and we've got a spinning circle as we load the images. Oh my God!
It's
Like
like
a-
a fencing sword.
Yes, very skinny Three Musketeers. All the weapons the Three Musketeers use, that's what they're
Here
using.
we go.
Okay, so if you've seen Three Musketeers, you're ready. Okay. The first image that comes up of a rapier blade is like a naked woman in like a cloak.
Oh,
I don't know how that adds up.
not bad.
On entering the jewel house, one of the men made a pretense of standing watch outside while the others joined Edwards and Blood to view the jewels. No sooner had the door shut did one of the men throw a cloak over Edwards' head, striking him with a mallet to bring him down, and then quickly subduing and gagging him on the floor. What do you think they gagged him with?
Traditionally, it's socks, right?
Yeah.
Traditionally, it's socks.
Did they have socks?
I mean, I guess it's just a piece of clothing, right?
Something.
Or so, I feel like old movies, you see them use like a kerchief or something like that.
Sometimes you see in the kids' movies they use like an apple, and you're like, just spit it out.
Yeah, bite it.
Bite it. Yeah. The pigs don't do that. On entering the... No sooner had the door shut. Okay, so they gagged him on the floor. Then they went to work on the crown jewels. Blood removed the grill that protected the jewels and then immediately used a mallet to flatten St. Edward's crown. Why do you do that? Why is the first step harming the jewels?
So he could stash it beneath his clerical coat. But again, that feels like when you're in the planning session... You know, if you're sneaking in guns,
bring
you're
a box
in
of
things
cake,
in a cake
and then put the crown in the
do
cake
anything
box.
besides squishing the crown.
It seems like when you try to resell it, they'll be like, I really wish this crown was whole.
It'd be a lot cooler if you didn't smash the crown jewels.
Yeah. He thinks he's in Mean Girls. And he's like, you know, we're all plastic, and breaks it off and gives it out to everyone. Another conspirator, Blood's brother-in-law, Hunt, filed the scepter. Scepter? I don't know that word.
You gotta watch the fucking movies. What are they?
What movies?
Avengers.
Oh, nice. Hey, on the watching Take Me Out on John Boy Jake TV.
Sure.
We both didn't know what phasers were.
Right.
And like every single comment is like, I guess you guys don't know Star Trek. And it's
Fire the phasers. I kind of told you. I knew it wasn't worth telling you that it was from Star Trek because that would tune you out even more. That's a keyword for turning your head off.
Yeah, but you should have said it because now you look like you didn't know what it was either.
Yeah, well,
True.
I don't care about Star Trek. I know this.
I'm worried about the product. I have to keep you focused.
So they got the scepter with the cross in two. So they're breaking everything.
Yeah, they're so dumb.
Because it didn't fit in the bag. Well, they've seen the jewels 5 times. How did Blood not figure out how to carry them
Well,
out?
we're going to have to break half of them.
Like,
all right, good start.
Hey, Thomas, you think of any way we can get these without breaking them? While the third man, Perot, stuffed the sovereign's orb down his trousers.
Classic.
Creep. Meanwhile, Edwards refused to stay subdued and fought against his bindings. Accounts vary as to whether Edwards' struggle caused sufficient disturbance to raise the alarm or whether the attempt was foiled in more fortuitous circumstances. Nevertheless, Edwards' son, Wythe, returning from military service in Flanders, either happened to stumble upon the theft or heard his father's struggles. He just showed up. He's been gone on the military, showed up the night of the theft. That smells fishy.
Yeah. I don't know. They're either Hollywoodizing that a little bit, like Wythe was in town for a little bit.
Yeah, in my mind, he's been home for a month.
Yeah.
The reason he's home is because he was home from his military service.
Because, yeah, I mean, that, you know.
They feel like they didn't account for him.
Besides overlooking smashing the thing you're stealing, I think you should wonder if the guy's military son is going to be around to try to foil the plan. That seems like step 3.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So, at the door of the jewel house, Wythe was met by the impromptu guard who challenged him before the young Edwards pushed past and entered, going upstairs where the jewels
Now we're going upstairs.
were stored. I thought the jewels were in the basement.
I think we got a lot of loose definitions.
The guard ran ahead, quickly alerting Blood and the rest of the gang before the sun arrived. At the same time, though, the elder Edwards managed to free his gag and raised the alarm, shouting, "Treason! Murder! The crown is stolen!"
Nice.
As Blood and his gang fled to their horses, waiting at the St. Catherine's Gate, they dropped the scepter and fired on the warders who attempted to stop them, wounding one. Reportedly, one drawbridge guard that had an easy shot at them was struck with fear and failed to discharge his musket. Yeah, who cares?
He was in on it. He got a cut.
Drawbridge guard? Like, I'm
got
out.
a cut.
As they ran along the tower wharf, they joined the calls for alarm to confuse the guards until they were chased down by Captain Beckman, brother-in-law of the younger Edwards. What? Yeah. Okay, so I'm guessing the son was married, and this is his wife's brother. Although Blood shot at him, he missed and was captured before reaching the Iron Gate. Having fallen from his cloak, the crown was found, while Blood refused to give up, struggling with his captors and declaring, "It was a gallant attempt. However unsuccessful, it was for a crown." What? Who's writing that fake quote?
Yeah, I don't know. You always get hung up in that. I'm like, why not? Like, what did the dude say?
We don't know.
When you captured him, what did he say? He said it was a gallant attempt, however unsuccessful. It was for a crown.
Yeah. So that's what I highly doubt.
I mean, if you're going to make something up, I think you'd make something up better than that.
Fuck.
I don't think that was a huge word back in the day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all this. Treason, murder, the crown is stolen. It's like the dialogue writers are pretty bad.
We all know it's not accurate, so what's the point of just saying it every time?
Well, because the people who are making it, if we all agree that these quotes are made up, I'm laughing at the dialogue writers.
Okay.
The globe and orb were recovered, although several stones were missing and others were loose. Hunt and Perot were quickly tackled and brought down after Blood. We have an aftermath here. Do we want to read that before we give our thoughts? Because now he's failed at country, castle, person, crowns.
This is kind of funny because, well, we talked about our top movies before. Ocean's 11, well-known heist flick. And I think it's funny they do a little fake mini Las Vegas history lesson in there, and it's like the first guy to leave the casino, and then he shot down and mowed down. That's kind of what this feels like, and that's kind of what this is supposed to be. This is supposed to be the kind of first heist we have on record, and it's like technically he took it, he stole it, and he left, but he did nothing. Like he didn't get away with it.
The planning's insane. He did such a good job inventing a wife and inventing everything, like, and then how did he not account for the sun?
He planned
the sizes of the crowns.
Getting to the jewels, he did a fantastic job. Everything else was a zero.
I think there's a movie in here somewhere where he hates the English so much, but then he puts on this act and he's going with his wife to these dinner parties with the Edwards, and he starts to realize, like, oh, I like this fake person that I'm becoming, and then something changes with his friends being like, you have to get those crowns now, so it's unprepared.
Okay.
There's a movie. We'll figure that out. Let's read the aftermath.
Wait, what do you think? What do you think's going to happen to him now?
He goes to jail.
Kill him. I'd kill him.
Following his capture, Blood refused to answer to anyone but the king and was consequently taken to the palace in chains, where he was questioned by Prince Rupert and other representatives from the crown. Finally, he was given an audience with the king. King Charles asked Blood, "What if I should give you your life?" Blood reportedly replied, "I would endeavor to deserve it, sir." So he'd try to make good.
Yeah.
To the purpose of many, and to the disgust of Ormond, Blood was surprisingly pardoned by the king. Moreover, he was given land in Ireland worth 500 euros a year. The merry monarch rather liked the suave Irish adventurer. Noah liked that line.
Yeah.
The merry monarch rather liked the suave Irish adventurer. The reasons for the king's pardon are unknown. Some historians have speculated that the king may have feared an uprising. What's wrong with my brain? May have feared an uprising in revenge by followers of Blood, who were thought to have taken an oath to their leader. Others speculate that the king had a fondness for audacious scoundrels such as Blood, and that he was amused by the Irishman's claim that the jewels were worth only 6,000 euro, as opposed to the 100,000 at which the crown had valued them.
I kind of like that. What that paragraph tells my brain is that the king likes him a little bit for like having the balls to steal it. He's like, okay, like maybe I can use that at some point.
And a little sympathy for how dumb he is.
Yeah, and he's like, this idiot was willing to try to steal from me for 6,000 euros? These are worth 100 G's,
Yeah.
dude.
He's like, why'd you smash it?
Yeah. One question.
If
Imagine if that
I
was
may.
the one thing he asked before it's like life or death. He's like, why'd you smash it?
Yeah.
Didn't know how to get it out.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
All right, here's some land.
There's also a suggestion that the king was flattered and amused by Blood's revelation that he had previously intended to kill him while he was bathing in the Thames, but had been swayed otherwise, having found himself in awe of majesty.
Yeah, you're so hot, the king, that he was gonna kill you, but then he backed off because you're so hot.
The king's just bathing in the river. Anyone can kill him at any time. Like, there's no security. What are you talking about?
It's hot.
King's like, yeah, you totally could have got me, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you were gonna kill
Oh,
me that
man,
day.
my
but
life was in your hands.
You saw Poppy taking a bath and said, I can't kill that.
Yeah. Following his pardon, Blood became a familiar figure around London and made frequent appearances at court, where he was employed to advocate in the claims of suitors to the crown. What?
Man.
John Wilmot, a famous English poet, would write of Blood. Do you want to read this poem verse?
The famous English poet. Blood that wears treason in his face, villain complete in Posson's gown. How much he is at court in grace for stealing Ormond and the crown. Since loyalty does no man good, let's steal the king and outdo Blood.
Nice.
Thank you.
In 1670...
Was that John Wilmot?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, yeah.
In 1679, Blood's phenomenal luck ran out. He quarreled with his former patron, the Duke of Buckingham. Buckingham demanded 10 grand for some insulting remarks Blood had made about his character. As Blood became ill in 1680, the Duke never got paid, as Blood died on August 24th of that year at the age of 62. The crown jewels have never been stolen since that day, as no other thief has tried to match the audacity. Are these crown jewels still around?
Crown jewels. They got to be somewhere. They didn't just lose them.
So I have an idea
Steal them.
for the movie.
Okay.
I want a big twist
Okay.
where at the end there was something in the crown that the king needed removed from the crown. And when he demands requests from the king, he slyly hands it to him. And that's why he gets pardoned. And the king was the one that put this in place. That's the twist I want.
Fuck.
Like there's a letter in there that says he's not the true king or something like that.
Ooh, okay.
Like his dad was like, this isn't actually my son.
Right.
And it's in the crown. And the king knows that that letter is in the crown.
Right.
So he puts this plan in motion like, oh, that guy's been trying to rob and steal and he's a scoundrel.
Yeah.
I'll have him do the plan, tell him he needs to break it, and then request me. I'll get that note, I'll burn it, and I'll pardon him. I want that to be the movie.
Okay. That's interesting. Or maybe the orb that was in the guy's pants has that or something.
Something like that.
I
Like it
like
was
that.
never meant to be a good heist. Like it was meant to fail so he could deliver something to the king.
Yeah, I like that. And I think the plot twist, and I think this could be a really good flick because if you get two good leads, which, I mean, you could say that about a lot of movies, but, I mean, you know, McConaughey and Leo, hell, Jude Law, I don't know. But you've got these two guys dueling, and as you were depicting it, although, I mean, and I think that's the only part from the story that we're kind of missing like, Thomas Blood has like a following. The king was scared to pardon him because he was so scared that his following was going to turn up on him.
They knew about him.
So, I mean, he clearly was doing something right. He lived to 62. But, yeah, it's Blood and his arch nemesis. What's his name? O'Dowd?
Something like that.
O'Roylahan?
O'Houlihan.
Ormond. So, yeah, you have Ormond just constantly winning the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just constantly. And then at the end, like, it's Ormond who's, like, half sad to see his enemy go, and half, like, good game. Like, you were a more equal adversary than you think.
Yeah.
And then he gets pardoned, and Ormond's like, what the
fuck?
And then maybe even Ormond gets killed or something. Like, they spin it and they blame it on him.
Yeah.
And that's the ultimate victory.
And in my happy ending, I have
Nice.
the Edwards getting, like, a little sprinkling of something in the mail.
Okay.
From like, the king or from the Blood.
I think Blood. He's like, I liked you guys.
Could have
I
Batman
just
on
had to
it or
get that
something.
letter.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, dude. So I've, dude, I think there's a little bit, well, what's the, Jamie Foxx, I love the movie. It's like an action movie. The guy's in jail, but he keeps doing stuff.
Not Inside Man. We watched it in college, and we both really liked it.
It's a good movie. Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
Law-abiding citizen.
Yeah.
So, like,
is that a heist movie? Whatever. If that's considered a heist movie, that's really good.
I don't think so.
But he heists like himself.
Yeah, it's an interesting twist. But spoiler, if you haven't seen the movie, go see it. But Jamie Foxx kind of gives him an out.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, if you prove you're a good guy right now, essentially you could get out of this situation. I kind of like that dynamic with Blood and Ormond. Like, Ormond can step up and, like, save Blood's life because he doesn't know he's going to be pardoned. And Ormond's like, no. And then the whole script flips on him. Like, Blood goes...
Ormond becomes the
like,
bad guy.
Blood goes, okay, and just, like, wry smile. And then the whole thing gets blamed on him.
Okay.
I like it.
I like it.
Should we quickly define what heist is to us before we continue through this season?
An elaborate theft.
I think we jokingly did good at the start.
An elaborate theft where your intent is to never be discovered and you don't harm people in the process. That's like maybe that's my best heist, but just running in and pointing a gun at someone and saying, give me all the money, that's a straight robbery. There's no heist in it.
Yeah, I don't know about the never being discovered part, because I do think a lot of people, like, that's a pride thing. Like, they leave their signature behind.
The Pink Panthers.
Like, they don't want to be caught, necessarily. I guess that's just phrasing it a different way. But nobody who steals wants to be caught.
Yeah. Do you know what the actual definition of a heist is?
A heist. Theft.
A
Stealing.
robbery.
A robbery, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the way when we talked about this is there's some planning involved, which, I mean, this dude laid out a fake family. Like, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, see, in the movie, it's going to make sense. Like, oh, that's why this one actually had a plan and the other attempts sucked.
Like,
but in real life, it doesn't add up.
Did you see Baby Driver? It says that's a heist movie.
I've never seen that, but people really like it.
Luke?
That's a good one.
Okay, maybe I'll add that to the weekend. Ooh, they're saying a lot of the Fast and Furious are kind of those movies because they're, like, stealing cars and shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Focus, the Will Smith movie. Did you see that?
I've never seen that.
The Town.
The Town's a great movie. That's definitely a heist movie.
Does anything in Catch Me and You Can count as a heist? His life is a heist.
Yeah,
thing
his whole
again.
life is a heist.
Everything can be a heist
Logan
movie.
Lucky's a good heist movie.
Everything can really be a heist movie in some sense. Like, can you say Inception's a heist movie? Aren't they, like, stealing shit from people's dreams?
Never seen it.
Whoa. Heavy. I thought you were going
Or
to
like The Matrix. Is The Matrix a heist or
I
not?
thought you were going to
Never
go
seen
to...
The Bank Job's good.
What's We're the Millers?
That's a heist.
I think that's kind of a heist, right?
Yeah.
The Usual Suspects is good. Reservoir Dogs, obviously. Three Kings is actually a better heist movie than I thought it would be. This has Inception as a heist movie, this list. So, if that helps you. They have the number one... Dude, I hate when movie websites do this. They have the number one heist movie as 1957,
Oh, yeah.
The Killing.
Gotta see it. Gotta see
Why
it.
do every movie list do that?
I mean, this is kind of a weird conversation because you're a love history guy. But at the same time, I very much get what you're saying. Like, if I watched that movie and I watched Inside Man, I'd be like, holy shit, that's so much better.
Just like, it's the same thing as like if you put Jack Flaherty on the mound,
Right.
and you put the best pitcher from 1950 on the mound, you'd be like, oh, I guess we've improved. We've developed better. You know,
It's a different appreciation. It's like a Babe Ruth thing.
Put him in the Hall of Fame, but
Like, if that movie is legit, you know, it's the whole Babe Ruth argument.
yeah, it's a Stanley Kubrick movie, so you know,
He's known.
baseball you got to judge people in their own error. Movies, I think you got to judge. You know, when you do a top 10 heist movies, you can't be like the best of its error, the best. And
I think that's what they're doing.
yeah, there are some good movies from the 50s,
There you go.
but I just don't think you can do it. All right, that was a good story. That was a really
story.
good heist story.
Good job.
And I think we're gonna have a lot of fun movifying these heists.
Yeah. Kind of. A heist is pretty easy to movify.
Yeah.
Are there any other characters because, okay, we've got the two main guys as rivals, obviously. The king, you can always have fun with the king character. I guess the other is the gatekeeper.
well, also the wife, the fake wife and nephew, like they don't know who that was. I think they're just like part of it.
You can have some really good comedy with that.
Got a good scene.
Okay.
Edwards is like an old man,
Okay.
like a frail old man, and that is just like that's why he's just accepting friends.
Sure.
And like you're thinking like, how the hell did this guy get this job?
Mm.
You know. And there's a
Hold
scene.
on. Edwards isn't the guard. You guys know that, right?
He lives above the crown jewels.
It's like he lives in the tower. He's like a wealthy family of there,
Yeah.
and he owns the crown
He
jewels.
does
They're in the bottom.
tours.
But yeah, he brings his guests down. But the guard who was there was like someone who works for Edwards.
No, the guard that they were referring to was someone that worked for Blood because they kept saying the guard with quotes around.
Yeah,
it.
but before that, I don't think he ever. When Blood first went, he didn't meet the Edwards. That's why he had to fake the stomachache so he could go upstairs and be invited to meet the Edwards.
I don't think that's how it was written.
Okay, just go with it
Either
for your
way.
story. Either way.
Yeah.
Either
I get
way,
what I
what do
said.
you got?
No, he met Edwards first, and then he was like, "I'm going to bring my wife back." Yeah. He chatted with Edwards, who showed him the jewels. So Edwards was like the master of the jewel room.
He has like the keys.
yeah, he lived above it. Yeah.
Go on. You're
So
saying
there's a scene where Blood's counterparts don't know. Obviously, he can't tell his helpers that this is sent down from the king, and the audience doesn't know either yet.
Oh,
So there's a scene where there's a scene where one of Blood's guys starts getting way too rough with Edwards, and Blood stops it, and the audience kind of has a moment like, "Oh, he's a good, like maybe he's a good guy."
guy.
It's a hint that Bloods
Okay.
isn't actually trying to kill people, you know, and he just gags Edwards instead of they were like, "Well, we gotta cut his eyes out." He's like, "No, he's fine."
Yeah.
So there's a little hint there.
Or
dropped.
I've got it as an accident.
accidentally gets too hurt.
He clips him on like he's about to give him like a full whale, and he like accidentally trips him on the way by, and then you find out it was no accident.
I like that too. There's something like that.
Also, could it be like they're running away, they're about to be safe with all the crowns and stuff, but Blood knows he can't actually let them get away, so he does a similar thing where he like fumbles and gets them caught.
If we do both, one of them's got to be very subtle, because you can't leave two hints
Yeah.
within the same 20 minute of the. By that point, a lot of audience members will be like, he wants to get caught.
Right.
So the first one's he's about to punch the guy in the face, and he's like,
Another one of his buddies is about to punch Edwards in the face,
and then Blood goes like, "Henry, where's the crown?" Just like yells.
yeah,
something.
yells to distract him
Just
or
like
trips
turns and
him,
bumps
something like
him,
that.
yeah.
And it's the first little dose of. It's when you find out the king wanted it. It's your first like. You jump back to that scene and you're like, that's why he stopped.
I think you can lay more Easter eggs than that, because I think that scene can be so panicked. I mean, the guy's son is coming. You're escaping the scene. Like, an accidental bump doesn't necessarily see that.
Or like when the sun comes, all of his buddies are like, we got to kick his ass. And he's like, no, let's just, he grabs them and throws them out like we're on the run. Like, don't even, there's something there.
Or maybe you think that the musketeer guy was in on it because he doesn't shoot them. And so when you're putting it together, you're like, oh, the musketeer guy. And you're like, no.
He's the inside guy.
No,
Drawbridge guy.
No, yeah. You're like, no, that was just fucking lucky.
I
thought he was going to shoot me dead.
Or maybe Drawbridge guy is like an earlier connection.
I think that's what Jake was saying. No,
I'm saying he's not connected. Like, you think he's connected.
I think there's another guy, the whole movie, you're like, this guy's a rat. This guy's a rat.
Because in a lot of these
Turns out he's
movies,
not.
they do the flashback throughout, and it's like, oh, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that moment, and you're like, oh, so the guy over. So then that's like the final thing is the king, like someone someone whoever's realizing this is like, oh, so the guy who didn't shoot you over the drawbridge, and then he's like, that's the end scene, and he like flips a coin, and he's like, well, sometimes you need a little luck.
I like that.
Yeah.
What a great movie. What are we going to call
Great
it?
movie. Two buddies making a fruit salad.
Yep. And then maybe we ping Guy Ritchie to direct it.
Guy Ritchie, yeah, he'd be good.
Does heist movies.
He'd be good Scottish.
Yeah.
Madonna.
You want Madonna in it, huh?
Just a scene.
As the king?
It's a cameo.
Okay.
This
Cool.
Peter did.
Okay. Oh my God.
All right. Thanks. That was
The king was a queen the whole time. It's Madonna. Boom.
is actually the Queen of France.
No, we're.
See you later, guys.
Thanks,
Goodbye.
everyone. 10 stars.